Hey everybody, JC here. Welcome to Cartwheels and Banana Peels. We are back again with some more entertaining and shocking and funny stories. Who knows? Because the way I roll is I roll into these conversations not having a clue what these amazing ladies are going to be sharing with us today. So we are going to kick this off short and sweet and get into the stories and find out what is going to unfold in front of us. All right. So Alexi, would you tell us who you are and what it is that you do?
I am a happiness advocate, mentor, and speaker. So I work primarily with youth, showing them how to improve their self-confidence, self-esteem for a brighter, more promising future.
Love that. That's beautiful work. Love it. Okay, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen Anderson. I'm a professional imperfectionist, which means I'm not a hot mess. I'm an inspiration. I am a perfectionism slash productivity coach, and I've just launched an app called Accomplished. It is a to-do app for imperfect humans.
I am just so wrapped up. I am a recovering imperfect. No, I'm a recovering perfectionist, is what I usually say. I hit 50 and went, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It changes things. So, everybody out there by now, hopefully you already know, but if you're new to me, obviously I am the founder and host of Cartwheels and Banana Peels, and I am your rebel storytelling coach. And I am very focused on people with that fire in their belly to create change, to get more momentum and visibility by sharing your stories that stand out from the crowd. So, obviously, that's one reason we're here today. Alexi, what story have you brought to my virtual kitchen table today?
Okay, well, I have a reputation for approaching strangers at the dog park, at the grocery store, at the ATM machine, and share a joke. Why a joke? Because behind every face there is a story of loss, of grief, of trauma. And so they laugh out loud, which feeds my soul initially, but more importantly, it lowers their cortisol and it raises endorphins, the feel-good hormones, and laughter has been shown to promote longevity. And so then the guy goes home and he shares with his wife, he says, I met this crazy lady at the dog park. She shared a joke, but it was really good. And so the story continues.
I love it. I love it. I've actually met someone where I live in Arizona at the grocery store, and they've come up to me. I can't remember if it's a couple, an elderly couple. But anyways, I know one of them because the other one's like, oh, I think it's the guy that shares this. No, it's the lady. It doesn't matter, y'all. But it's funny. And she has caught me a couple of times, and she didn't remember me, so I let her tell it again the next time. But yes, and then her husband's like, oh, here she goes again. But I love that because I couldn't agree more. Obviously, we feel so much better when we laugh.
That's
Love
right.
it.
That's
Love
right.
it. All right, Jen.
Okay, the whole story. Okay, it's just like this whole epic tale. Um, back in the 90s, our time, I was a volunteer EMT for a volunteer fire department. So, and
Mhm.
on top of being an EMT and a dispatcher, I was also in charge of fundraising because it happens. And we'd done a lot of bingos and which are not as much fun for the people running it as for the people attending and different things. And one day, local deli owner approaches us and says that he wants to do a fundraiser. He wants to coordinate a stand-up comedy fundraiser for us. And so they sent him to me, and I was his only point of contact, so I got all the crazy. Spoiler alert. And so there was a stand-up comedy club, not in the neighborhood, but close enough. And this is when Sopranos was still online,
Okay.
was live.
Mhm.
So he's like, "Oh, one of the actors is going to come on the last night, and what if we raise $100,000 for the fire truck? We put like a little plaque to my late father." And yes, if you make us $100,000, yes, I will make that promise. I don't even have to ask. We do a bingo and we make less than $2,000. So yeah, you want to give us 100,000, or raise that much, go right ahead. Whatever you want. So we sell tickets, but of course, this is not my first rodeo. So I
Mhm.
know that we're going to make more money from a raffle than from tickets because we're
Mhm.
talking weeknights, like a Tuesday night and a Thursday night, and one of the shows was like 10:30. It was fine. It's when the comedy club was empty. And so I decided to do a 50-50 raffle, which
Mhm.
is like a split pot. And
Mhm.
so tickets are $1. We keep half. The winner keeps half. The deli guy sells them in his store, strong arms everyone into buying lots of tickets. We sell them at the place. I stand outside church one Sunday at like 3 masses, 4 masses, something like that, and sell these tickets.
Mhm.
So we get plenty. And yeah, we made more money from the raffles than from the comedy show tickets. And it was so sparsely attended that we actually canceled like the last show, the fourth show, 10:30 at night on a Thursday night. That was never going to happen. And it is just, obvious that we're going to be making about as much money as we would for a bingo. Which, all right, great. And the only member who has to do anything is me,
Mhm.
because the club is running itself and all this, and I had to show up and take the tickets and what have you. And the deli guy is getting more and more concerned that we're not raising enough money. This is for his dead father, his dearly departed father who just died like a year ago. And so he's really stressed out. So eventually, he and the comedians come to me and try to get me to rig the raffle.
Oh.
Yes, there is this young guy who's, I guess, an aspiring comedian who just hangs out there, didn't perform, and he was like, "Pick me. We'll fold my ticket. We'll pick me, and I will donate the prize back to you,"
Mhm.
which would give us all of like a couple $100 more. Like less than $1,000 more. We're not going to go anywhere near the 100,000. And also, no,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
these tickets at church, the church where
Right.
my parents were married, my aunts and uncles were married, right by the Catholic school that I went to,
Mhm.
right by, like 50 feet away from the shrine to the Virgin Mary that my grandfather helped build. You know,
Yeah.
no, I am not going to be ripping off the people who I sold tickets to outside.
Right.
You know, I told you don't have to be there. Of course not. And they push, and I'm like, no, I don't, I don't care. I cannot be bullied. You're gonna try to peer pressure me on that? No. And so the whole, it's just chaos. The
Mhm.
last night, it was packed. A lot of people came. Some people came from the fire department and everything. And one of the comedians is like, "So who is here from the fire department?" And they're all sitting right in front, and they say nothing. I'm like, "Great, thanks, guys." Some woman who's coming in is like, "Me, I'm married to the chief." No, she wasn't. Maybe she's married to a fire chief. I have no idea who this is. I'm like, fine, so he doesn't have to make fun of me. Great. And, it's just the whole rigmarole. And so we sell the tickets at the last call at the place. And as I'm counting up the money, the one of the comedians gets on stage with the bucket of tickets, and he's going to do this whole drawing. Pulls it out, gets someone's name. She's not here. F them. And starts and is about to throw it back in the bucket. I charged the stage. I was just like, no, 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 no. And everyone is just like, oh, no, no, no. I'm like, no. I turned around. I was like, no, we sold them at church. We sold them at the deli. We can't,
Mhm.
promise is promise. And there are people there who went to the same Catholic school as I did right there. So I know you
Mhm.
have the same level of guilt. You're not going to rip off the people in front of church. So I didn't charge it. And then, I call up this woman who had bought it at the deli, and the deli guy takes the phone from me and tries and talks to this woman, tries to strong arm her into donating it back. At least
Oh my
half of, yes. He talks her into giving like half of it back. And I'm just like, I'm the one who delivered the money. I probably should have said no. I should have said, like, no, here's all of it. Pay off your credit card, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, she donated half of it back. So we got like an extra $400 or something ridiculous. And yeah, so that's it. And then a couple of weeks later, the deli guy went into rehab. So,
Oh,
so that
oh
explains
my
some of
goodness.
his behavior.
Oh my goodness. Perhaps that does. Yes. See, that's
Yes.
something where people need to think about when these flies in Arizona, it's that time there. Sorry. Um, the fly wants to be on the show, y'all. I apologize. So when we encounter people that are doing something that may seem really completely wackadoodle or why would you behave that way? We don't know what's going on in their lives. We never know. That's really important to take heart in. And so when, as Alexi does, when we can just share something that makes people laugh, I don't have a tendency to share jokes, but I'm the one that will walk into the grocery store because, as some people know, I do Instacart. I actually shop for other people as well as my work in the world, right? I still love doing that, so I still go do it. I squeeze in time to go do it now, but I know everyone at the grocery store, the main one. So I'm the one that will walk in and do the queen wave, just being a dork, and it gets people to laugh. So it's always just about bringing that laughter piece in, and your energy, Jen, is just, I just have to say, I have the big energy as well. And so your energy is just contagious. It's just like, it's just so big. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And so and then we have the other, because Alexi, your energy is more reserved. And so your jokes, I totally would love to be in the store and have you come up and tell, because I would be like, well, what is she going to tell me? Because it's a whole different vibe. And so I'm intrigued by that. And so this is a great example of we don't have to have these big, similar personalities to be able to share those interesting and fascinating and fun stories and bring light into other people's lives.
Yeah, and so I do it impromptu as well, and I catch people off guard in a sense. I have two dogs, and people are always stopping and petting the dogs, and they say, "Oh, your dogs are so beautiful," and I say, "It runs in the family," so they laugh, Or I say, "If I get on all fours, will you pet me too?" Well, nobody's done it yet, but it just
You're
impromptu,
saucy.
and people laugh.
So
Like just for example, just to put a smile on somebody's face. My dogs and I are standing at a stop sign and waiting for the light to change. And so I put a little treat in each one of my hands and give them to the dogs. There's a 4-year-old little girl standing there with her mother, and her eyes are as big as saucers, and she's watching me. And I say, "Do you want to give them a treat?" So yeah, she puts her hands out. I put a treat in each one of her hands. They get the treat. 4 weeks later, I see her on the street. She still remembers.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just impact people in the ways you never think you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely. Okay. So you guys, this story, I just told this story recently to someone else, but I haven't shared it on the podcast at all. And you were talking about this little girl, it's about 4 years old, and a completely different direction I'm going, but it made me remember it. So I'm in the grocery store and I had yoga pants on. It's been a couple of years ago, probably winter time, and I had yoga pants on. And believe it or not, some of us do get hit on in the grocery store. It happens when you're in the store, as much as I've been over the years. It does happen. And so anyway, so I'm in the produce section getting whatever, not paying that much attention to necessarily people around me. And I feel someone come up and grab my behind.
Mm.
This is coming from a girl that's trained in martial arts. I kind of whirl around. I'm ready to go. I'm like, who do you think you are? Don't be grabbing my ass. So, but when I whirl around, there's no one there. So I realize he's about 4 years old. I don't know where he learned it from, because obviously he learned it from someone. But yeah, but his mother was so embarrassed, and I'm like, it's fine, it's totally fine. He's just, he was all giggles. He just thought that was the greatest thing. Now, whether or not he'll ever remember that, who knows? But I bet his mom will remember. So
and
again,
I was gonna say, Mom will probably tell that story at his wedding.
Yeah, probably. And so that's where these stories, you guys, are so important, to share the laughter, to bring those things out, those everyday things that happen in our lives that you might not be expecting. Or in Alexi's case, boy, she's quick-witted, so she can come up with some really cool stuff on the spur of the moment, which is awesome. So that's just so fun and amazing, and we should be doing that. It breaks the ice. I say this all the time. When you laugh, it becomes an icebreaker. It becomes this bonding moment with someone, and you can build rapport and a connection to someone that you may never have met. We're doing it right here in front of you. I did not know these ladies. I've not had an opportunity to talk to either one of these amazing women with me today until right now. But yet now there's this sense of, hey, if I see one of you someplace else or online someplace else, some of those things are going to kick in. I'll be like, hey, Miss Imperfectionist. Or, hey, hey, how are the dogs? What's going on? Are you just be ready? I'll be ready though for Alexi. Like, oh, she's going to have a good comeback. So I think this is such a great example, and that's why I do this show. So let's go back around though, because Alexi, I'm really curious, and Jen, of course, what do you have to offer the amazing people out there watching, listening, and how can we find you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the best place. But how people, besides my joke telling, I post a blog on LinkedIn every day that's about a minute just to give people food for thought. Like, for example, it's customary for people to say, have a good day. What does that mean? It's so vanilla. Does that mean don't spill your coffee or don't have an awkward moment? So instead, give people food for thought. Put a smile on someone's face and laughter in your heart. Or, I hope your day is happier and healthier than it was yesterday. Buy somebody a cup of coffee at the coffee shop. Share a joke. Offer a smile. Give them a compliment. So I'm walking down the street and a woman, I like the dress that she's wearing. I go, I like your dress. It looks good on me too. It just gives you people, something food for thought. Instead of the traditional have a good day, just give them thought that you can make somebody's day a little bit happier. And especially, I tell jokes to service providers on the phone because they really take a beating. You don't know who's been rude to them, before or whatever. And just I say, have you got a few minutes? And I go ahead and share a joke just to lighten their day. And then hopefully the next person will be polite, because you just don't know. You don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Exactly. I love it. I absolutely love it. So when you go into the grocery store, and where I shop at so often on the first Wednesday of the month is Senior Wednesday, and seniors get a 10% discount. So it's very, very packed with a lot of, and where I live, it's a big retirement community. Actually, there's a lot of people that retire to that part of the country. I live in Arizona, and so it's filled with a lot of elderly people, and that's kind of their big excursion for the month. They don't get out a lot of times otherwise. So they stop kind of in the way sometimes and just slower moseying, and I'm trying to hustle through there. And so I was kind of getting aggravated the other day. I had to stop so many times. And I had a lady that just stopped dead in her tracks in front of everyone. I was like, oh, I'm going to murder her if she doesn't move, which of course I wouldn't really do. And I didn't want to be mean. It's like, it's not her fault. She's just stopped. She's paying attention to her list, whatever. I'm not going to be rude to this elderly woman. I'm not going to do it. So instead, I noticed how amazingly gorgeous her blue shirt was, because it was a vibrant blue. I happen to really love blue. And so that's what I did. When I kind of sidled up and squeezed next to her to go past her, I said, ma'am, I really love that blue shirt on you. And I was serious. It wasn't one of those, oh, bless your heart moments. I was serious. I really did love her blue shirt. And she was taken aback. She didn't expect someone to tell her that. And so it shifted my energy too. I didn't feel all ticked off at her anymore. I was happy that I made her feel happy. And so try to take that to heart too, y'all. But anyways, I just had another story, unexpected. Sorry. Jen, let's get to you before I go off and tell another one.
Okay, you can find me at accomplished.app. It's accomplished with the T instead of an H. You can sign up for to get a free ebook called 51 Ways of Let Go of Perfectionism. I sent you the link. It's accomplished.app/ebook sign up. Voila. Yeah, so that's it. And you can try the app. It's available for the Android and for iPhone.
Love it. That's amazing. All right, you guys. So obviously, we like to have a good time. Obviously, this is how I coach my clients. We laugh, we giggle, we have a good time. So if you are like, well, I don't know what stories I have or how I would tell one, or how the heck would I be funny, or I'm not funny, talk to me. Because I'll find your funny stories. I will find the entertaining pieces. And even when we know our stories, it is also the way that we present them, and is very, very personalized. It goes with your personality. You guys, when we share stories, we are trying to attract our right people to us, whether it's for business, whether it's for friendships or romantic relationships, it doesn't matter. We're also trying to repel the wrong ones. The people that aren't a good fit, they don't laugh at your stories, or if they're not entertained, then they're not the right fit for you. However, we also want to be able to do it in a concise manner, right? So, okay. So anyways, I'm doing some one-on-one coaching, which I don't do all that often, but right now here in the summer of 2024, y'all, I am doing that. So reach out to me, hit me up, because I love to make a difference in people's lives, just as these amazing ladies sitting here with me today. So reach out to these amazing ladies, reach out to them, and learn more about them and get some jokes, learn how to not to be so darn perfectionist, because we don't need to be. Just go with it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining in, and make sure, if you are on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the amazing other ladies that I bring to you, and the few guys when I do those special episodes with just the guys. All right, everybody, I'm JC. Have a great day. We'll catch you next time.